I got sober in 2018. I thought it was going to be a magic bullet that completely turned my life around and brought me everything that I ever desired. Would bring me success, would allow me to tap into the better parts of myself that I felt I had lost access to. I thought getting sober would bring me really high quality relationships and intimacy and connection with other people, both romantically and in friendship. I thought it would bring me everything that my heart desired. Now, it kind of does, but there's so much more to it than that. Just by merit of not drinking, I have learned that I cannot get hungover and I cannot get a DUI. After that is where the real challenge begins, because the desire to stop drinking or getting high or immersing myself in some kind of vice, that went away pretty quickly. That was resolved in a relatively short amount of time. What happened next is something I had not anticipated, and it's something that nearly 7 years later is still a daily challenge. And what that is that now I have no way out except through. Meaning, when I'm encountering a difficult time, anxiety, emotions that I don't want to feel, grief, sadness, regret, discomfort, I don't really have a way to turn those things off anymore. I can still seek distractions, and there's so many ways to distract myself. Usually for me, it comes in the form of work or busy work, cleaning my car, doing laundry, cleaning the apartment. And those are things that do need to get done, but I will find myself resorting to these sort of minor things in order to alleviate anxiety, sadness, despair, thoughts of loneliness, or just unwanted thoughts. And I'm telling you this because that is what sobriety has been like for me. And it doesn't sound like fun, and it's not fun. But would I have it any other way? Would I rather go back? Would I rather go back to this place of ignorance where I was completely detached from my emotions and my feelings and who I was? This has been the process of getting to know myself, who I really am, what I really like, what I don't really like, what I really want in a partner, what I really want out of life, who I want to be, how I want to behave, how I want to look, how I want to feel. I get to craft myself. I get to allow the real version of me to finally emerge. I have hidden myself from social media and life at large for a long time because once I entered sobriety, I think subconsciously maybe I got this notion that I will reemerge when I am the most perfected version of myself. I will reemerge when I am 2.0 and I'm jacked and rich. I wanted to be able to prove that this decision that I made was the right thing, and that there were rewards in doing so. It was the right thing. It was the right thing for me. And every day that I choose it, I'm choosing myself. And one of my biggest challenges in life, see, what I'm saying is like alcohol is the tip of the iceberg. Drinking for me was the tip of the iceberg. It's not the problem. As I continue to go about and feel my feelings and encounter life and get to know myself, there is so much shit deeper down in that iceberg. Codependency. Whoa. This is a big one for me. And it is so scary and so hard to grapple with because I'm at a point where I don't really know what to do about it. And it's terrifying. And codependency, if you don't know what that is, It was something I was completely unaware about, uh, 7 years ago, but it's a behavior of mine where I derive all of my self-worth and feeling of worthiness from somebody else. I have such a profound fear of abandonment that I abandon myself in relationships to give somebody else everything I think they can possibly want from me. I give and give and give until I am spent and I have nothing left emotionally, financially, because if I can give you everything that I think you need, if I can perform, if I can show up in all of these ways, you can't abandon me. Of course, that's false. Of course, you can leave anytime you want. But I've learned that is a way I show up in relationships. And look, I think if I didn't get sober, I would still be behaving in that way, but completely unaware of it. I think I would have no clue as to why I'm in emotional pain or things aren't going the way I want. And one thing I will tell you that about 7 years in, and by the way, I had a relapse, and I'm super grateful for it because I needed to know if I could do this again. Meaning, could I go drink again responsibly? No, not really. What it was like was there was a fire hose in my life 7 or 8 years ago of vice, of turning to a drink or a joint or something like porn to get immediate relief in my life when an uncomfortable emotion came up. And when I got sober, I kinked that hose. Now, if I go back to using those things again, unkinking that hose doesn't mean that the flow of water drips out. No, it comes back out at full force again. And that's just what it's like for me. By the way, when I talk about this stuff, I have no opinions on the things that I got sober from. If they work for you, baby, you do you. It's just a problem for me. It's just something I cannot manage. It's only up to you to determine whether or not you can manage it. I assume if you're watching this video, it may be something you think you cannot manage, in which case sobriety might be a dope choice for you. Anytime you choose something for yourself, it's a good thing. And I will tell you that as the things that were harmful for me in my life have exited, that vacuum, that void had to be filled with other things. Working out, getting healthy, eating right, learning, honing my skills, working on music, and just slowly, slowly, slowly getting better at those things little by little by little. And trust me, one of the things I struggle with the most is impatience. I want everything right now. I want everything right now. I want the money. I want to write a hit song right now. I want the perfect partnership and marriage and family. And I just want it to come to me. I know that's ridiculous, but that's how my brain functions. And I'm aware of these things now. Sobriety has been this gift of awareness. It has shown to me how my behaviors can be subconscious and subtle, and how I can self-sabotage my life, that somewhere deep down I don't think I'm worthy of success, or I don't think I'm worthy of a healthy relationship, and I will do things to make sure I can't obtain them because I'm familiar with uncomfortable feelings. I'm familiar with living in lack and playing small and not really truly leveling up to who I could really possibly be, and not giving myself things that I'm worthy of, because somewhere deep down inside, I have this feeling that I'm unworthy, that I'll never be enough, that I'm never going to be enough for you, that I'm never going to be able to be the person I think I truly can be. And I'm so sick of that feeling. And that's a great place to be. A great place to be is sick of something. When you cannot take it anymore and you do something else in response. And that's a reason I'm making this video today, is I have thought about sharing myself, sharing my life, being more vulnerable and open with social media and with YouTube for so long, and I keep making excuses. I'm not there yet. I'm not the polished version of myself that I want to reveal. But I guess, how unrealistic or how unrelatable is that to just emerge as an Adonis figure with stacks and stacks with a bank account that's just exploding. I don't want to do that. I want to show myself for who I am day to day online. I want to just be myself and be comfortable in myself. And I compare myself to other people so much. Do you do that? I do it, and I'm sick of it. I just want to be me. I just want to be the best version of me. And little by little, I get to see myself become that. I get to see myself take steps towards becoming that person. Sobriety has been hard because there's so much grief in my heart for relationships in the past, for people I have lost, for pets I have lost, for whom I had deep, deep connections to. And when we keep moving, when we keep working, when we keep pushing ourselves and don't really sit with those feelings, we don't allow grief to be processed. So the past 6, 7 years of recovery has been allowing myself to sit still, which is incredibly uncomfortable for me because remember, I'm impatient and I don't want to just sit and feel my feelings, but I'm allowing myself to feel grief for people and pets and relationships I have lost. It's incredibly uncomfortable, but it's incredibly necessary. So that's something I get to have today. I get to try to be a little more compassionate and patient with myself. I know I have a problem with patience, but I have a little more control over the voice up here. I can hear it moment to moment as it's casting doubt or being negative or telling me that I'm not good enough or telling me that I'll never measure up or telling me the hater. There's a hater up there. And I get to talk back to him and say, yeah, I hear you, but here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to take action and move forward and do the best we can today, because what's the other option? The other option is to go back and turn to the things that hurt us or turn back to the behaviors that hurt us. Part of the process of grief, I think, is grieving my old self and learning to forgive my old self. Another reason I think I've kind of hid from social media is once I got sober, I became aware, really truly aware, really had to face mistakes I had made in the past, people I had hurt, behaviors I had made. I became aware of all of my poor behaviors, and that's terrifying. It's terrifying to face those things and get super honest with yourself and really acknowledge and hold yourself accountable for how you've behaved in the past, because doing that felt like if I do that, I can never move forward. I can only see myself as a villain. But it's not true. It's not true. If I could have behaved differently in the past, I would have. I didn't have the potential or the skills to do otherwise. I was on this path that I was on. I was programmed from my childhood to behave in a certain way. Now I can become conscious of that programming and how I was behaving in the past, and I can start to insert new behaviors. And I'm ultimately grateful that I got to a place where I couldn't live my life that way anymore, and I had to do something different. Sobriety, it's not enough. I need so much more in life. I need to craft a life for myself that I want. I need meaningful relationships with men and women. I need connection with other people. That's one of the reasons I want to do this is, you on YouTube have helped me so much by revealing yourselves to me and showing me who you are and telling me what your experiences in life are like. It has impacted me so profoundly that why would I rob the world of what I have to give and my feelings and where I'm at in life? I feel like at this point I have so much to give, and that's a incredible feeling when I actually start wanting to give back and not just get so much in my life. So that person that I was, I can forgive. And that's an amazing thing that I never thought I could do, because first of all, I never wanted to acknowledge those mistakes. I never wanted to acknowledge that behavior. I just wanted to keep moving forward, just keep moving forward until the fucking wheels fell off. And the wheels fell off. Some people, it never happens. Some people, I've got a brother who's spent the past 20 years in and out of jail, in and out of prison. He has, some profound problems. I love him. I want to see him turn his life around until he wants that. Until he wants that, there's nothing that I can do for him. But I got to a point where I wanted different, where I wanted something else. And all I can do is be grateful that that happened. And it took whatever it needed for that to happen. And it is so hard to move forward some days. Some days I just want to sit in my past mistakes and feel like, well, there's no hope for me. There's no going forward. I fucked up too much, but it's not true. And I say that so that you can hear it from somebody else. If you're feeling that way, if you feel like you fucked up too much to possibly move forward, it's not true. There's only one thing you can do, and that is to move forward. It's okay to acknowledge your past, but not to sit in it for too long. You can let it go. You can let your mistakes and the transgressions you hold against yourself, the discontent and dislike you feel for yourself, you can let that go. It takes so much time, but if you haven't started, today's the day to start. And if you're on that path, congratulations, keep going. I tell you that so that I can hear it from my own mouth, so that I can hear it for myself, because some days I feel like giving up. Because as you heal, as you go through therapy or recovery, a 12-step program, whatever you're doing, you're peeling these layers of the onion back, and you keep thinking like this next layer, that's going to be the one where I pull it back and I've got the wife in the house and the kid, and everything is like, oh, we made it. Every time I peel the layer back, there's some new stuff. Like codependency. That's the thing I'm really grappling with in life right now. Or this need for validation for others that has always been there, instead of developing an innate ability to soothe myself and validate myself for my own efforts and love myself. That's where the onion has led me now. That is the layer that I'm at, is now conquering these new things. And I look forward to bringing more updates into how do I deal with codependency? How do I deal with self-love and really knowing who I am? I think that has been the real crux of this whole thing, is loving myself and knowing who I am, and thinking that, look, I want to write a hit song, and I want the house, and I want to be way more jacked than I currently am. But the real reason I want those things, if I can be honest with you, is I think they will bring me love. So what I really want at a foundational level is love. I want to love, and I want to be loved. And there is a part of me somewhere that believes that until I have X, Y, and Z, I'm not worthy of love. That nobody can love me until I can give them these things. It's not true. It's not true. And there's no such thing as being completely healed. There may be some people out there that are just, no, fuck that. There's no such thing as being completely healed. And there's this idea I had in my head in the past of, I will be in a relationship when I'm completely healed. I will go for that next job when I'm completely healed. I will take that next step towards this goal when I'm completely healed. These things never happen. You are where you are at today, and that's good enough. I can be in a relationship today with the amount of love that I have in my heart and the amount of healing that I have. I can love myself as much as I do today and continue today and tomorrow to develop those things, to love myself more, to show up for a partner more, and to keep doing my best. That is all we can do. We can keep doing our best. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep writing music. I'm going to keep developing myself and staying on this path, because it has been one of the best things I've ever done for myself. It is a little domino that I knocked over that has begun to knock over all these other dominoes. It is the thing that allows me to look directly into a camera without feeling anxiety or feeling like the world is going to judge me or that the world is going to see into my heart and know how much I wrecked the past, what kind of poor decisions I made. I'm beyond that. I don't have to beat myself up anymore for who I was. I get to move forward today and know that I'm still going to make mistakes and know that nothing's going to be perfect. I'm not going to do anything perfectly, but I can continue to get better little by little. And if you're thinking about sobriety, it is something that has profoundly impacted my life. It is scary. It is a real commitment, but I wouldn't rather have it any other way. I would not want to go back to the way I used to feel and the way I used to just be completely dominated by my emotions day by day. I still do get really intense emotions. They pass a lot quicker than they used to. It's not something that will really steal days, weeks, months from me anymore. This is a video I've wanted to make for 7 years. I've wanted to just reveal myself for who I am, where I am today. Thank you for participating in my recovery.